along with Mikey Moore last night, obviously the big plus point for Rangers, I thought, was the introduction of the subs, a couple of the new signings. You mentioned Antman earlier on, is obviously not a new signing, but he's come back for a kind of long-term injury. I agree with you. I think he looked sharp on the left-hand side, looked as if it suited him better, so it gives Danny Rohl another option. But the two main ones, I suppose, were Skov Olsen coming on and getting his debut goal. His first goal for the club. And Tuur Rommens, who we've had to wait to see him in action. Obviously, came in with a slight injury when he was signed. He's had to wait a few weeks. But you look at the fan reaction last night, even in social media, he was a guy everyone was picking out as being really impressive. And I agree. I mean, he looked like... I was saying last night, I mean, you've watched kind of Jaden Magoma do a decent job for Rangers this season at left back. Young player on loan for Brentford, 19-year-old. And you think, right, he's done okay. And you feel sorry for Magoma in a sense because he's had to play probably too many games. They've had no competition there at all. But when Rommens came on last night, I mean, he looked like a different physical specimen to Magoma. And I mean, I've even heard people saying, typical us, want to big him up so quick. I've heard people saying he reminded them of an Arthur Newman when he came into the Rangers team.
A certain colleague from around the newspaper made that comparison last night. I did laugh.
Aye, the way he moves, just the way he moves, the way he runs. I mean, I thought it was really impressive, a really impressive cameo. And in terms of Skov Olsen, I've been a wee bit critical. I mean, and again, it sounds crazy, he's only played a couple of games, but I just think, the situation Rangers are in and going for a title, and he's coming mid-season, coming with a big reputation, big profile. I said after the Hibs game, this guy's not got a lot of time to get up to speed. He's got to start producing because Rangers are going to be reliant on him between now and the end of the season to deliver goals and assists. I think last night when he came on, and again, you have to caveat it by saying Kelly, it was fairly late in the game. They're tiring with 10 men. But I thought Skov Olsen just looked a bit sharper, a bit quicker,
a
bit more willing to get involved and make things happen. What did you make of their two performances when they come on?
Well, I agree with Skov Olsen. It was definitely looked half a yard sharper, quicker, more direct. I think he's looked a bit sluggish in his first two performances. I did say, I think it was on Hotline Live a few days ago, I think you have to caveat his early games with the basis that he'd not played for the best part of 3 months.
Yeah.
He's barely played 90 minutes this whole season. In fact, last time it wasn't even 90 minutes, he got taken off in the 89th minute, but last time he basically played a full game for Wolfsburg. It was the middle of September. He'd been taken off at half-time 3 times. After that, before his last game on November the 7th. So he basically, he's barely played a game of football this season. A full game of football this season. So the fact that he's had an hour against Dundee last week, an hour against Hibs, gets half an hour last night. I think that'll do him the world of good, and I think you're starting to see that. It just Danny Rohl admitted it himself when we spoke to him at Mr. Road, that you get these guys in at this stage in the season, it's usually because they haven't been playing. And Deary's maybe the exception to it in the sense that he's playing in that third tier in Germany. He's been playing week in, week out, but the likes of Skov Olsen, you're getting a guy of his calibre because he's out the picture at Wolfsburg and he's not been playing much and he's not sharp. So you do have to cut a bit of slack. But I think you saw flashes last night of the potential or certainly of the quality that had the Rangers fans also excited. And then when you come to Rommens, it's funny because he was like, of the 4 that came in, he was probably the one that was most sort of, not under the radar, but just the one that sort of didn't get quite as many headlines. He was just, even speaking to some folk in Belgium, they're kind of like, he's a steady Eddie. He's not a flashy James Tavernier-esque fullback that's going to score you 20 goals a season. But what he is, and I think what you can say about all the 4 new signings that have come in since Danny Rohl took over, is that he's a specimen. He's a unit. But when you look at Chokwani, big strapping lad. Rommens, big strapping lad. Scott Olsen, isn't, I think he's over 6 foot as well. And then obviously Nadiri's, even bigger at 6'4". He's definitely. I mean, I thought Rangers were quite a big squad as it was this season, given you had the likes of Giga and Fernandez in there. But I think he's definitely identified the need to have a bit more power, more physicality in there. And you saw, I mean, for a guy coming back from injury, I mean, okay, he was only in the pitch for about half an hour, I think. I mean, he got him down that left-hand side time after time. What we didn't get to see much of, obviously, just with the situation Kelly around with 10 men and Tyron, was what's he like defensively. From what I'm told, that's actually the sort of most reliable bit of his game. He's not known for getting forward, but he was charging forward, picking out crosses, picking out cutbacks. Obviously, gets an assist for the Antman goal, I think it was. I think he can. Listen, I can't remember the last time a Rangers player came in and hit the ground running and had fans immediately excited by his first performance. I mean, even when you're talking about Nadiri last night, comes in, still trying to get to know everybody, but has a big chance to get off the mark immediately. And I think it was Scott Olsen set him up, and excuse wide. You're talking about Scott Olsen's taking him a couple of games to get his goal. Took his goal really well last night, but his first 2 games were quite underwhelming. Chukwani at Easter Road was, great off the ball, winning, nipping in and winning tackles, but didn't really show much in terms of what he can do on it. He had a chance at the Dundee game a few weeks ago where he sort of charged through the middle and on his weaker left foot sort of skews it straight to the keeper. I think, there's been not people criticising them, but people certainly going. I think just some of the enthusiasm has eked away a wee bit, just with the way that those guys have started. I think with Rollins, people are going off. If he keeps this, they've got a player in their hands.